time for X-Men First Class to come out. I am posting reviews on the X-Men cartoon and the first two X-Men movies. And those are going to be honest reviews, positive ones, on my personal thoughts on those movies.
You're skipping The Last Stand, huh? Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Oh, you're skipping The Last Stand.
I'm not skipping. The Last Stand will be an episode of the Blockbuster.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't.
There you go. You heard it. You heard it on this channel, on this YouTube channel first.
Yeah. Well.
That's an exclusive right there.
Oh God, I don't want to even. That movie was just.
It was okay. It's gonna be a top 10. I'm not gonna tear it apart entirely because I think I have a good balance between its shittiness and its goodness. So I don't feel comfortable tearing it apart entirely. But I do agree with a lot of people. A lot of people have made really good points about it, that it does have some strong faults. So it will get a partial bashing, but not a whole one.
Kind of like with Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't really
just like the Daredevil episode, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really like into Daredevil.
Yeah, there's not, and you're not alone. I mean, there's a lot of people who really, really hated it and couldn't stand it. And I respect that. As usual, I do respect that. So again, I'll do one episode, but I'll do the usual coming to a compromise. You know, yeah, I'll do an episode and I'll bash it, but I won't tear it apart entirely because a lot of effort did go into it.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was some negligence there, and I do acknowledge that. So, yeah. So there will be an episode.
It seemed like it had like the Spider-Man 3 thing. I mean, they try to put like way too much into one movie. I mean, same with like Pirates of the Caribbean.
But even then, Spider-Man 3. My issue with that is that Spider-Man 3 still felt like they really thought that the audience were morons. Like they really thought that people had forgotten the series of events of Uncle Ben being killed during the carjacking. It's like, when the hell does Sandman have time to stop him and shoot him, and where did that come from? And they just kept cramming extra stuff into a backstory that I think the fans know really well.
Yeah, like he killed him.
X-Men, on the other hand, it was still a very solid story. It's just that like I said, there was some negligence there, like with characters that were kind of unnecessary and characters being killed off all willy-nilly. So, yeah, at least they gave us a good story, but there was just a lot of problems here and there.
Yeah, like really, like Sandman killed Uncle Ben, but it was for his sick daughter. Like, oh, okay. Thanks for the information, but why? Can you just rob a bank? Can't you just rob a bank?
All this time to tell us this because.
I mean, I kind of want to see Spider-Man doing this thing. I mean, that's why I paid $83 for this ticket. I mean, the prices these days. But I know, like, I watched like some of the videos, and you said like you were kind of like off, like with Chris Evans being Captain America. Is there like, I know you explained a little bit more, but is there like any reason? Is this the way like he was like Johnny Storm and stuff?
Well, honestly, that was back when I first started.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was that because I had started and I only had about 10 subscribers, I said to myself, whatever is the first fan request that I get, I will meet it, no matter what it is. I didn't care at the time. And the first fan request that I ever got was from a former soldier from the U.S. Army asking me to comment on the casting of Chris Evans as Captain America and saying how him as a soldier and a fan of Captain America was very much displeased with this. How do you say no to that?
Yeah.
So I had to do it. I had to do it. Again, it was my first fan request. Again, I'm serving my country. I'm giving something back to one of the men and women that's out there fighting for our freedom. So I went for it, and I have gotten a lot of criticism for that. A lot of people don't have a problem with Chris Evans. Again, in my mind, I always picture somebody a little bit more rugged and a little bit older as Captain America. but frankly, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what we say and do, Chris Evans is a talented actor. So he could knock it out of the park. He could pull off a Heath Ledger with the Joker. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, exactly.
He could surprise us all. So, and the trailers look really good. So,
yeah, like.
So January 22nd, which is the Saturday after Captain America comes out, I'm gonna go see it. And if it's really good and he does a really, really good job, I'll post a video saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, he's great."
Yeah.
But you know, again, a lot of the stuff that I do on the show is just for the humor of it. It's not intended to be taken personally. And if you do take it personally, then the joke's on you, because that's what I'm making fun of. I'm making fun of people who take that stuff way too seriously and make too much of a big issue about peripheral stuff in the movies that it's really not important. But that's just the fun, and if you watch it, you enjoy it, have fun. Don't take it personally, because I'm just goofing around, even about Indiana Jones.
Because you're playing a character basically, so it's not your person.
Oh, definitely, it is me, but with the volume turned all the way up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in real life, I'm very mellow, very laid back, and I am very over opinionated about movies. But if you disagree with me, I am not gonna fight you. I don't care about it that much. So, you know, the Blockbuster Buster is a parody of a lot of friends that I've had over the years, and a few of my cousins who really take this stuff very personally. Like a good example is the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Like I have a few friends who are Dungeons and Dragons fans, and when that movie came out, they went as a group, and they came back really pissed off over the minutia of the movie. It's like, what did you expect? You know, it's like, oh, I expected it to be like the animated series from the 80s. I'm like, oh, well, you know, maybe you're expecting too much, man. You know, you gotta keep your expectations a little low when going into these things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm always like optimistic person, like you said, of like Heath Ledger in like The Dark Knight when he was like the cast of the Joker. Like before I even like I knew the Joker was gonna be the next movie with like the ending of the Batman Begins. And I was like, oh Lord, the Joker's gonna be alright. That's cool. I mean, but I was like skeptical. I was like, he's not gonna be Jack Nicholson. Whoever they pick, not gonna be Jack Nicholson. But then, like, I heard Heath Ledger was going to be cast. I was like, really? Heath Ledger? So I was like, he's still a good actor. I mean, he was good on Night Still, The Patriot, and all that, you know. And I saw, like, the makeup. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I saw it, and I was like, holy shit. I mean...
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we all were taken aback at first, and eventually we really warmed up to him playing this character. And it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to going to the movie theater on opening day and seeing that movie and seeing his performance. And then he wins the Oscar, which was awesome. You know, how many people that have played comic book characters win an Oscar? And he deserved it.
I think he's the
it's
first.
a complete transformation. There are very few moments in that movie where I recognize him as Heath Ledger.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. It's like, yeah, like with Chris Evans, like you said, we never know, but we never know until we watch it.
Exactly. We all should. I don't like judging movies by the trailer alone. I decide whether I'm going to go see it or not, but I don't say, oh, that movie's going to be crap. No. I mean, a movie that a lot of people were dismissing immediately when they saw the trailer was the new Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. And again, you know, you have to wait to see the movie, and I saw it, and lo and behold, it was great.
Yeah.
But everybody was pointing at it and saying how it was the worst idea ever, and it was going to be a disaster. But yeah, I personally like to wait to see it for myself. And I mean, the worst thing that I can say about it is that I'm not going to see it in the movie theater. I'm going to wait until it comes out on DVD. That's the worst thing that I can say. No, man, nobody should judge it. Judge a book by its cover. Nobody should judge a movie by its trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Karate Kid. Like I wasn't one of those people, but I was like, really, another remake, Karate Kid? I mean, that story has been done like so many times now. I mean, they shouldn't even call it Karate Kid. I mean, they can just name it anything. Like, I don't know, anything. But the soul
They should call it Underdog Story.
Yeah, the Underdog. Or something like
Underdog
that.
Story 3.
Underdog Story 3.
Remake.
The kid rises back. Bully beatdown. I don't know, this random titles. And like, But the sole fact that they have the Karate Kid like tacked on and stuff, I was just like, really? Wow. And then like with Jaden Smith, I mean, he was good, but like when I saw him, I was like, why is he? He's like 6. What's he doing? But it was. I'm like, he's 6. And then like I saw Jackie Chan, and I was like, oh, Mr. Oh, what? Jackie Chan? Awesome. And he was great, and the movie was great. So yeah, but
yeah, the movie's excellent. I'm gonna say it right now. I want to buy it on DVD as soon as I get the chance.
As soon as
I'm just very poor right now.
I understand.
But I've gone from being having mild interest to becoming a fan of this movie. I definitely want to get it.
All right. I was just looking on like websites for like I don't know random comic book movies, and I don't know. Here's some suggestions. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I'm definitely going to do that one. But again, I'm going to do that one as a top 10 because it's just a silly popcorn movie. But I do agree that they did mess up the comic. Like the movie is absolutely nothing like the comic, other than superficially. But a lot of people hate that. But my answer to that is that technically in the movie they did what Alan Moore did in the comic. They took these literary characters, and Alan Moore did whatever he wanted with them. And that's exactly what they did in the movie. They just took these literary characters from other books and did whatever they wanted with them. So to me, if I were to make fun of the movie for not being faithful to the comic, then I should make fun of the comic for not being faithful to the original literary pieces of work that the characters are based on. So again, to make fun of something like that would be pretty hypocritical. So again, I agree. Yeah, it's not like the comic. I respect that. And a lot of fans have said, well, if they wanted to do that, they shouldn't have used the title. And I agree. But then again, going back to Karate Kid, technically there's no karate in the new Karate Kid. It's Kung Fu. So, they should have changed the title. I agree. But they didn't. They used the title for recognition, and so you recognize it as a remake of a movie, and you go to see it. Because they need that. They need people to go to the movie theater and check it out. And frankly, if it hadn't been called The Karate Kid, I probably would have given it a second glance.
Yeah, exactly.
So same thing with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You have to forgive them for letting them keep the title, at the least.
Yeah, I mean.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to do a top 10 on that one. That one is definitely on the horizon. I just have a lot of other projects and videos that I'm working on right now. But definitely down the line, I'll do it. It's sitting on my shelf right now. So
yeah, I agree with you.
Definitely on the agenda.
I agree with you, like not being like terrible, like really bad, but it still just like wasn't the same. I mean, I didn't get the vibe like I got from the book. I mean, like, speaking of Alan Moore, like, did you like Watchmen? I don't know, like the movie like was entirely split into 2 different groups. Did you hate it or love it, or were you in the middle?
I was satisfied by it. Let me put it that way. I don't think anybody could have done a better adaptation of that comic, and for people to complain about it is pretty asinine, because this is as close as we're going to get to a good adaptation of that book.
There was only like one thing they changed, and that was the ending. That's it. Everything.
That didn't bother me, because it was to me it made sense. And I don't want to talk about the ending because I don't want to give it away. But to me personally, it made sense, especially with what the story was focusing on, with Dr. Manhattan and all.
Yeah.
But again, to me, that's one of those little things that people get latched onto and want to complain about. But it didn't ruin the story for me. It concluded it perfectly. I definitely want to do an honest review to it one day, but I'm kind of waiting, and because this is one of those movies that I look at it and I think, man, this is going to be in a couple of years. This is going to be like Blade Runner. This is going to be one of those. This is going to be one of those movies that wasn't really appreciated right when it came out, but in the future, just a couple of years down the line, a bunch of young people are going to sit down and watch it, and they're going to go, holy shit, they knew how to make movies back then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a cult classic. I mean, I like it. I enjoyed it, and I think it's a satisfying movie.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to give it another watch one day.
Yeah, like even like with the like insane amount of length it was, like because I got like the director's cut one, so that chunk was like 3 hours and like 20 minutes, but
Right.
it was good. I liked it a lot. I mean, I don't want to like give out the ending away either, but like really, how could they even do the ending in the comic book without making the movie like really different from the beginning? So
Right.
I admired like how they changed it up a little bit, not entirely, but they changed it so it seemed more like realistic in a way. But
No, I agree.
I mean,
I definitely agree.
what do you guys do with like really? But I don't know. But I had this in my head like a while ago. But like you said, you wanted to see, you liked how like the Marvel movies were intertwining with the Avengers movie, and that's working fine. But supposedly they're trying to think of making a Justice League movie.
Right.
But I don't know how they're going to do it because they already have like Batman working and stuff. But how are they going to intertwine all the Justice League?
I honestly, as far as I understand from what I've read, they're not really planning on doing that at all.
Oh, really?
They're just gonna come out. I think 2012 or 2013. No, 2013. Yeah, they're just gonna come out with a Justice League movie. Period. Boom. And it's not gonna be. And they've already announced that the actors, like Christian Bale and the actor that's going to play Superman in the next, the Zack Snyder Superman that's coming out soon, those actors are not going to be playing those characters in the Justice League movie. It's going to be brand new actors.
Wow.
And, yeah, and the Green Lantern is not going to be Hal Jordan like he is in this movie that's coming out right now. It's going to be Jon Stewart. So, yeah, the Justice League movie will take place in its own universe with new actors playing the characters. Yeah, they're not gonna follow the Marvel plan where the movies are gonna intertwine.
I mean,
so yeah, again, that's just hearsay right now. We don't know what they're really gonna end up doing. Obviously, they're all scrambling right now because what Marvel is doing right now is working.
Yeah,
the movies are
exactly.
coming out. They're creating a lot of buzz. The Avengers cartoon that's on TV right now is a big success. I believe the DVD just came out 2 weeks ago for the Avengers cartoon, and it sold really well.